Deep Rock Galactic is a game where you do two things: mine rock and shoot bug. So what happens if you ignore the second half entirely? Can you even finish a mission? Just how bad does it get with each difficulty? That's what I wanted to figure out when I asked the question, can you win in Deep Rock Galactic without killing anything? So what are the rules here? Obviously, you can't kill anything, but what counts as a kill? In the post-match summary, it seems like it only counts kills where you directly did damage to a dying bug, but I decided to take it a little bit further. In solo missions, you normally have Bosco to accompany you. He exists to help with all of your tasks like mining, lighting, and of course, shoot bug. His kills don't actually count for your total, but if I can avoid having him clear the cave for me, I will. While you could try to micromanage every action Bosco does to keep him from engaging in combat, I think it's a tad easier to just disable him entirely. I also chose to avoid missions where the objective has turrets, since while it wouldn't reflect in my kill count, I didn't feel like it was exactly within the spirit of the challenge. It's also important to note that the bugs can damage each other, and while it may be a little bit necessary on higher difficulties, I chose to avoid kiting them into each other where I could. Character choice is pretty important, and I think there's no one better for this challenge than Scout. He has good mobility, a solid utility tool, and one of the better options for a utility secondary. I almost considered Driller so I could use the plasma charger for mining, but outside of that, I don't think he has enough value in his kit to compete with Scout here. Gunner and Engineer may also have better utility items, but I don't think that matters when Scout can do this. So what type of mission do we play here? The way I see it, there are 5 valid mission types: Morkite Mining, Egg Hunt, Refining, Salvage, and Deep Scan. These missions are all completable without killing anything, and also don't have anything attached to the objective that assists in combat. I mostly stuck to mining missions because they're pretty easy, but I think that the other types are all possible as well. I'm also choosing to ignore side objectives here, but most of them are doable. Just skip exterminate objectives and you'll be fine. With all of that out of the way, I can actually play the video game. I started out playing super low mining missions. They were pretty easy and made me think that this really wouldn't be much of a challenge at all. I did kinda hit a clip on a Yuletide elf, but in my defense, I hadn't played in like a year and a half and I'd never seen these before, so I wanted to know what they did. Either way though, I ended Hazard 1 and 2 with only 1 kill each after a pretty easy time, so I decided to run Hazard 2 again on a salvage mission to see if I'd fare any different. Oh good god. Oh good god. So, you'll notice that I keep shooting my crossbow into the floor near the enemies. Why? Well, there's an upgrade that makes it so your bolts have little tiny speakers on them that play very scary noises. Noises that are so scary, the bugs decide I'm actually the least of their worries and turn the other way. This only works at a 50% rate, but when it works, it is huge and gives me a good bit of time to focus on the objective before I have to go back to kiting. And that's really what the majority of this comes down to. As long as you can kite through the cave pretty well, most objectives are actually really easy. The real issue comes when you have to stop moving to, I don't know, construct a mission uplink or a pod battery. Normally, when playing Deep Rock, you have these things called friends around to keep objectives clear while you smack them with a hammer, and even if you don't, you normally have Bosco to keep you company. Unfortunately though, I don't think many of my friends would be down to kite bugs for 20 minutes like I am, and we left Bosco at home, so this makes salvage missions quite a bit harder. But the real difficulty actually comes when you have to run the uplink. You see, uplink objectives have one simple requirement: stay still. You can't leave this little green circle or else you'll lose progress. This, of course, is much harder when you aren't allowed to shoot any of the bugs in the zone with you and requires you to gamble your health a little bit to get more progress than you lose from going to hit a resupply. Should I have just placed the resupply closer? Shit, yeah, probably, but that doesn't matter because we completed the uplink. Now we just have to do it again, but with even more enemy buildup and even more mission control telling me to stick to the fuel cells. Like, yeah man, I would, but have you seen what's going on down here? Eventually though, the cell was finished and I just had to kite my way around the pod for a couple more minutes before I could make my way out and see if I accidentally obliterated anybody. Only 1 kill, not bad at all. Don't know where it came from, but regardless, that's only 1 kill too many. Moving forward, I went back to Morkite Mining, moving up to Hazard 3 to see if it's actually any harder than 1 or 2. It wasn't too bad, nothing of note really happened here, Until one of my friends sent me a strange DM. Hold on. What the f is Fractal Block World? This is a surreal exploration game. Explore a massive fractal with great complexities. You can shrink infinitely to go deeper into the fractal, or you can become larger by growing. Inner space awaits you in this infinite world. Does this game actually go hard? Loker genuinely such a grindy game, but it's fun to kill time or boredom. It's pretty fun. Okay, we're going back to Deep Rock. We're going back to Deep Rock. Don't know what all that was about, but anyway, pulled through the last swarm, depoted some Morkite, entered the pod with less than 10 seconds and maybe a little more than 1 HP, and ended the run with 1 kill again. I really don't know where these are coming from, man. Even through all of the little issues with trying to deposit minerals or play objectives though, I still thought this was pretty easy. Before moving forward though, I wanted to try a quirk mission before going up to Hazard 4, and I
Light. Get it done, team.
Oh god, I might be dead. Okay, well. Okay. Whoopsie. It's fine. The Quark missions have turrets anyway, and I didn't realize until writing this. I went back to Morkite again after that one. I ran it back on Hazard 4, got hit with a charge sucker, blew up, thought that was still too easy, and ran it back on Hazard 5 for some reason, blew up even harder and in record time, and decided that maybe Hazard 4 is enough for me. I'm sure Hazard 5 is possible if you're actually good at the game or maybe have friends to give you a hand, but that just isn't the life for me. In that time, I also tried experimenting a bit with some more utility upgrades for my weapons. I tried using the plasma carbine for this upgrade that makes you run faster while the gun's overheated, but I didn't realize it required a full overheat until I actually used it and decided that I didn't want to risk shooting anything by mistake while trying to get a movement boost, and I never used it again. I also thought about equipping an overclock for my crossbow that makes it shoot extra bolts, but that would also make my bolts unrecoverable, and I didn't like the idea of having to call a bazillion resupplies so I could keep my get off me tool online. Anyway, I went into one last Morkite mission, and I think it's really best that I just show you how it went. I got an achievement for that. Let's go. Please tell me you didn't kill anything. Yes! Now, I will admit, there were a few times I baited bugs to explode or to explode each other, but I think that it may be a tad necessary once you get into Hazard 4 and above, especially if you're playing solo. Shout out to the barrage infector that cleared like half of the cave for me. I wasn't even trying to bait enemies into its bombs, it just can't aim and nuked everything else instead of me. Regardless though, I ended this mission with 0 kills and successfully completed the mission without killing a single enemy. So yes, you can win in Deep Rock Galactic without killing anything, and it's honestly a pretty fun challenge to do so. At some point I may come back to this, either on a higher difficulty or a new mission type. Maybe I'll even make my friends tag along. For now though, that's it from me, and thank you so much for watching.